Hey everybody, Engineered Coffee, welcome back to Mars. Last episode we built this little coffee shop here in the corner of our factory. We're still working out some names. Here's some names we've come up with so far. We're trying to take a poll over on Discord. I think there's a few more to add to the list as well. But when I head over on Discord, you can go ahead and vote on that. I'm not sure exactly when we'll get around to naming it. I want to come up with a kind of a cool logo at some point. Alright, and then over here in the other corner of the factory, we built this pad here to weld up our tardigrade. So I did some work off camera, built a couple doors here to get down so we can start a programming wall. It's not very spacious down here to be able to get a wall of programming, but at least we'll get a wall here, and maybe we'll have to start a second wall over on this side. Not really sure. That's fine. Alright, off screen I went ahead and welded up the tardigrade body, so let's go ahead and turn that projector on. There we go. Now we got just the little body that we need to weld up, so I think we'll start working on the programming sequence to get this guy welded up. Alright, I want to thank my newest members, Dutchman Ace and Gamer Geek. Dutchman Ace was there last week, but I didn't give him an audio shout out, so I just want to do that again. If you'd like to join, there should be a join button in the bottom, unless you're on iOS. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I went ahead and ground off our little temporary buttons here and put on a control panel, or a control seat all the way back here on the same grid, so we can get to programming. So in here I've got all 30 of our timers. So also, somebody in the comments had suggested that this is the Tardi-Bay, or called it the Tardi-Bay, and I think I did like Tard-Bay because I had Skeet Bay, and so that's what I was going with, but somebody called it the Tardi-Bay. And that's a fantastic name. Don't know why I didn't think of it, but fantastic there. So let's go ahead and hide all these labels. We don't need them. So yeah, I've got 30 timers there on the wall. We probably will not use anywhere near that amount, but they're there. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is unhide the welding arm. So we're going to swing those doors up, and we'll probably extend that piston out so we can get the merge block, well, not the merge block on, but the projector on to weld up the body. I guess we'll probably need to turn on the merge block because it might be off from the last sequence. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So in setup actions, we're going to go find those hinges. I went ahead and got rid of the group just so it's not on our toolbar, because we can go ahead and hide these things later. We have so many items on our grid right now and groups that it would be nice to just hide all the groups. So all of these we're just going to do a reverse. We've got, 81 slots that we can fill in here, so I'm not really worried about it. Alright, so we've got all of those doors opening. The next thing we want to do is move up or extend our piston here so we can get that merge block, and we might as well turn the merge block on. Make sure it's on. And then we need to project just the body. So I've got a blueprint for that I took, so we'll go ahead and turn that block on. And then we'll just trigger the next one in the sequence. Or start it, actually. I guess really we don't have to do these too early. This could have been done after the fact. We need to get the welders up into position before we could weld anyway. So we could hold off on those. We could always come back, take them off, and put them on a different sequence a little bit later. That's really personal preference, I guess. So let's go ahead and give it a trigger now and see if that works. There we go. It technically works. I think I might take the projector off of that one in particular, because we're going to have another sequence here to move up the arm over here. So, yeah, I don't know if we need that projector there, because it kind of goes into the floor as it merges up. So I think we'll take that one off and we'll wait. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call this one Unhiding the Welders. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Welder A and B hiding is what I called them. We'll do a reverse on both of those, and then let's go ahead and turn on our projector. Alright, again, and we'll give this one a trigger now and a time sequence on my phone. Alright, I'm thinking on these guys we can actually give a 3-second delay on both of them, even though it took a little over 3 seconds. Like this guy, the next thing we want to do is get this arm out of the way so the door can close. So we'll go ahead and give a 3-second delay, because this guy can start going up as this hinge is coming up as well. So let's go ahead and set up its actions. All right, a little change of plans. Instead of getting this guy to rotate up so we can close the door and have him come back down, looks like we could actually just rotate this guy. Let's see, not that one. Speed, there we go. Go up to a +5 here. We can actually just rotate him through and he doesn't conflict. So we could probably get this guy to a 0 position. And then we can close the door. I think I like that one a lot better. Then it's kind of just chilling here like this. In the next sequence, we can start welding up the body. So I think I like that one a lot better. Instead of swinging up the arm. Yeah, I think that'll work. And I did screw up on this. This guy right now is at a negative 90 degrees. And this guy is at 0. I wanted this to all be 0. That's what I did on the other robot. So I screwed this guy up somehow that it's no longer at negative 90 when it's there. So I'm wondering if I can get a mag plate down here like this to hold this guy down. There we go. Something like that. We can hold this guy on, and I'm wondering now if we can detach. Can I lift this guy out? Oh, he doesn't have any power. Alright, this is really convoluted, but I really want to see if we can do it. There we go. We can get that guy to get out of the way. Can we add a head on here? Oh, we can. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and set this guy to 0 now. Let's go to this as 0. See if we can give a positive velocity. There we go. It's currently set at 0. We'll keep the rotor lock off, that's fine. And then if we can get rid of that guy, can we reverse this back down? And get him to attach. And it's still at negative 90. Damn it. Okay, so the memory is held within this advanced rotor part. So that's a little unfortunate. Let's go ahead and detach again. Let's see, can I just grind that guy off and put in a new welder part? Let's go ahead and add a advanced rotor part. Really? Thought I had enough. Okay, now we attach. And it's currently a negative 90. Son of a... I'm never gonna win on this. Alright, one more option here. We're going to try this. The hinge will be at 90. It knows it's 90 because it's sticking straight up. So let's go ahead and attach a rotor head. Okay. We are currently at 0 degrees. That's good. Now we can add our hinge onto here. Negative goes that way. Grind off that, and we'll put on our welder, or our hinge part. There we go. Now we'll attach. Okay, and this guy's at 0 degrees. I'm good. Okay. Get rid of all this crap now. Okay, I'm good now. Now we can actually rotate this guy to 90 degrees and to 0 degrees, and it'll match, and that makes me happy. Alright, we'll just call this one Swing Welders Home. I don't really know what else to call it. So instead of using those hinges, we need to find the rotors. Let's find our 2 rotors. A is over here, and B is over here. And that's really because when we're standing in the window, that will be left to right. So it's opposite here, so we got B on the left. So both of them are going to go to 0 at this point, but we just got to remember that for later. Alright, so we're going to do a rotate to angle of 0 at 5 degrees. We're going to do auto, because it should go the shortest distance from here over to here. That will be fine. Let's go ahead and give this guy a trigger now and a timing. That's about 3.5 seconds, but again, it could get rotated out of the way, so I think a 3-second delay in number 4 here would be fine. So number 4 is going to close the doors. Alright, let's go ahead and give this guy a trigger. It should be 3-4 seconds to close that door again. Alright, let's go ahead and do a trigger now on sequence 1 and see if our first 4 sequences work here. Alright, well that works. We've got the arms in a home position and we've got our projector ready to weld. So I guess really we just need to get our welders to go across and get this guy welded up. So we'll start over here. So I guess we just want to find a position Let's see, I'm just looking at the angle here. 45 might be a good place to start, but let's go with like 40. All right, that looks pretty good there. And then we want to tuck it into the 0 position here before we kind of extend out just a teeny bit more over there. So we kind of want to get this guy to suck in as we go. So let's go ahead and get this guy in the position where we think the like this horizontal position will be. All right, so here is what I'm thinking. We'll start over at this position and we'll end at this position. So I've got this guy pitched back at, yeah, negative 10 degrees. Well, 10 degrees, I guess. I've got negative going inward. Yeah, it's consistent at least. Okay. So yeah, we'd start over here and we would weld over here. So we want this arm to kind of suck in into here, because I don't really want to do like what we did over on the Tardigrade where it's in front of it and welding. I want to weld from the side. We should have enough depth from these welders to get, you know, all we have to do is go in 1.5 blocks really, because the other welder will get the other side. But I think it goes like 2.5, 3 blocks deep. So they'll be able to assist each other with welding everything up. So that will be good. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and start recording it here on this screen. We've got our weld 1. Might as well just call it 1 at this point, just to save us some space. So we've got our rotor at 45 and negative 45, and then our hinge here. Let's see what we got. 30 degrees, negative 60. Let's see, that's negative 30, negative 60. And negative 30. Alright, I know there's like a whole bunch of reverse kinematics that I could do with this whole thing and calculate it out, but I think I'd rather just do a kind of a trial by error, and we'll kind of suck in what we think needs to rotate first. So I think we need to get these two guys faster than the rotational speed, because we're kind of coming in, but not great. Alright, it's a little long and convoluted, but I think I've got it. So, what we've done is we've got our hinge positions and rotor position here for number 1, which is where this position is here, to weld up to here. We figured out our straight position, so when we're, you know, 0 degrees off of this robot arm is going to be our shortest distance the robot's going to have to go. So I went with that spot. And then we need to go out to the tip here of the face to get it all welded up. And then I was thinking about it, and we might as well, because we're 20 degrees this way, we might as well do 20 degrees this way, and it's almost halfway between our 45 and 0. So we'll just use those same angles, same positions that we just figured out for this, and all we have to do is just rotate this guy over to positive 20, and it'll match up just as well. So we're going to go ahead and use that twice, so we'll have a few timers in here. We'll have 4 different timers just for welding the body up, but I think it'll make a smoother line as it comes across, and I think it'll look cool. So I've got all of that. It's a little bit easier to see here in the mono spaced. So we've got all of our positions for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I've got the speeds in between to get from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and program it and see how it turns out. Alright, let's go ahead and find our sequences here. We have number 6. What it's going to do is set up our actions. Let's get our Tardi-Bay rotors. We're going to go from 45 to 20. So welder A is going to 20. Speed of 0.1. Auto is fine. Alright, number 1 is going from negative 30 to positive 5. It's going to go a speed of 0.28. Number 2. Alright, well, I think we're ready to give this guy a welding test. So let's go in here to our timer sequence for number 6 to weld the body. We're going to go ahead and go to page 2 and turn on the welders. Let's go ahead and put that sequence here on our cockpit so we can go ahead and trigger it. And then we'll give it a watch here in Spectator. All right, well, that was successful. I think the only thing I needed to change was the timing at the very end. It doesn't really need to hang out to get the front welded. It's already welded before the arms are finished. So let's go ahead and go on to the next part. Yeah, I changed this from 17, 18 seconds down to 15, so that should be good there. And so then this one will be opening the cradle. So we'll be opening the cradle doors. So let's go ahead and set up the action here to trigger that next timer, which would be 10. We'll start that timer. All right, let's go ahead and just time it here in Spectator. I can push it on my button panel here. I can press number 2, open it up. So let's do a little timer. Really under 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds to get it to get out of the way enough. Oops, that was the wrong button to push. Oh, crap. Well, we're welding up the body. That's okay. It shouldn't touch it. That's fine. Okay, well, that's accidentally re-welding the tardigrade here, which is fine. I guess if we see it spark, we know we missed something, but haven't seen it spark, so I guess we're good there. This one only needs to wait 2.5 seconds before it starts extending. Let's do 2.7 just to be safe. Set up the actions here. We want to extend those pistons. I know I could have a group of them again, but let's not do the group. Let's do each individual one so I can delete that group later. Let's turn the projector for the whole tardigrade on. There we go. Turn the whole body one on and the cradles extend, and then we can start welding. So I guess again, while this is extending, we can get the robot arms over here to start welding up the thrusters. I think that would be good. So let's go ahead and get these guys into place. Go ahead and do this one because it's got the wall, and if we need to put a half wall in over there, we can go ahead and do that. That would be an easy change. Alright, so for this sequence I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm going to come up to the top and then start rotating over. And my hope is we can get all of these little top sections here and the battery as we swing over. And then we'll kind of swing over to this position on this side and then start going down the welder and then go home. Hopefully that will work. So we'll probably have 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different positions that we'll weld to, and we'll see what happens. All right, I think I've got all the actions here. So after we're done welding, we're going to open the welder doors, and we're also going to rotate these arms back to the neutral position. Then it triggers the next timer, which all this one does is rotates these welder arms back to 90 degrees pointing this way, which then triggers the next one to tuck in the welders, and so that one needs to just rotate our hinges. These larger ones just needs to do the reverse on those. Take some time and then close the door. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a trigger from number 1 here, or not number 1, but from this welding position and see how it does. Alright, I think I've got everything down here back into its 0 state. Got the cradles retracted, got the hinge done. The welders are back down here in their little home. It's nice and dusty, so that's a little annoying. And we've got the body welded up, but we can pretend that it's not, and we'll see the first welder come across and attempt to weld it, and then it should turn on the thruster projection and get the rest of it welded up. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay. Alright, well surprisingly it got this thruster, which I wasn't expecting, and it did not get this section here. So we might need to have something a little bit different there, and it did get caught up. on that little section there. So maybe we do need to come out in front of the thruster like we have over here when we started. So let's go ahead and go back to the drawing board. I've redone number 12 here that it comes across right in the middle, and I've done number 13 here as well, so it comes down in front of the welder, and hopefully we'll get all of this thruster stuff under here. So let's go ahead and give it a trigger now and see what happens. Yeah, I was a little afraid of that. It's gonna hitch on there before it's gonna retract down, so I need to get the angles a little bit different. This guy needs to retract before it can rotate down. Alright, here on the open weld doors, I think I also want to put some actions in here. We have turning off the projectors. Let's also go to the third page here. And let's do our merge block. Let's turn it off and retract our piston down.
Energy.
Alright, we're also going to open up the hangar doors above us, so we're ready to launch this drone. And well, there we go. We've got a nice nestled in tardigrade ready to go. The doors, in theory, would be open. Let's go ahead and do that. Need a button over here, I just realized, to open these doors. Well, that's good. It looks like it kept battery group. We were able to recharge them, and now we're back online. Let's go ahead and do our remote control. We can turn on our thrusters. There we go. And we can come straight up. Oh, that's perfect. Now I wish I had a grinder pit so I could go throw this guy away. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and park this guy over here for now. Alright, well, I just realized we need to have a way to get this guy down into the floor to retract these pistons down. So I think I want to do a sensor that will go ahead and turn on and off at a certain point. We'll just put a sensor in here and it will detect the tardigrade. And so we'll just have, let's go ahead and turn on the HUD and show the sensor field range here. We're going to narrow it in a lot. All of these just need to suck right in. There we go. Because all we're just trying to do is detect the belly of it. And really for its actions, when it doesn't detect anything, we just need to find the tardigrade pistons. They're not on a group, so that's unfortunate. So we're going to trigger a timer. Alright, so I got 2 more timers in here. One to retract the cradle and then close the doors. So the retract cradle here, just going to find those hinges. Or pistons. And we're going to do a retract on all of them. And all that's going to do is trigger the next timer, which was 19. So we'll start that one. Then 19, its actions is just going to be to close those doors. Alright, so then the last thing that we do after we close those hinges, we also want to turn back on our timer number 1, because we want it to turn itself off. If we go back up to here, we're going to set up an action after it triggers number 2 here, so let's go ahead and move that guy actually. This guy is going to start here. It's going to turn itself off just so we don't accidentally double tap it and try to weld multiple. And I think what I'm going to do actually is on this sensor, I'm going to extend it all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to do like 12. Oh, that's a little bit much. Oh no, actually it's not bad. Yeah, so we'll have a sensor that goes all the way up here, and once that tardigrade finally clears out of this sensor, the doors can also close. So let's go ahead and do that. We're retracting our pistons, and we're also going to close our doors. Okay, and then it'll turn the timer back on that we can start manufacturing a new one. So that should work. Now we just need to be able to turn this guy on and off when we want him to. So after it is done, back in this setup actions, let's go ahead and turn that sensor off. Then we need a place to turn it back on. And so after it is done welding all of it, the ship should be there. I mean, it really should be here, way back in this area. Alright, so here after it unmerges, we're going to go ahead and turn that sensor on. And that should allow it to detect subgrids, because that's what we want to do. We don't want to do, or small ships, we don't want to do subgrids. So we're going to do Small ships on, everything else off. That should work. And I'm really regretting not using the sci-fi one, though. Okay, well, I accidentally triggered it with my body because I didn't set it up properly before I put the actions in there, but that's fine. We should be good now to do the rest of it. Let me copy this stuff. Put it into our panel here. There we go. Now we have a record down there. Let's get rid of this thing. Alright, I'm pretty confident this will work now, but we just need to have a single button now to press to get it to operate. I think we'll put that up here in our control center, and we can go ahead and watch it with the spectator camera, I think would be the good thing. Let's see, do we want... I mean, a display button would be kind of nice. But just having this would be kind of cool. And we could put screens or something above. Alright, I'm stocked up on material. Let's go ahead and push the button and hope for the best here. Alright, well, it's not perfect yet. Missed a spot here, and it's also didn't weld up this motor, or the thruster here. And then it missed some armor panels here on the sides as well. It just kind of welds up what it wants to weld. You know, I wanted it to weld up the thrusters over here. I've got it pointed at this direction, and it does the battery first. So there's that issue. So we might have to just hang out here longer than I think. And then maybe we'll come down here-ish. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I need to bring it over. I think I'm at 0. Which is right... Yeah, it's right here, coming down, so I don't know, maybe I need to come over here a little bit, or I need to come a little bit closer. I'll figure that out offline, probably. But works for the most part. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's go ahead and finish this thruster up. And then we'll hop on and fly it out and make sure that the door closes. Alright, batteries are on auto. Let's go ahead and get into the remote control and control it. And when we come up out of this little spot here, let's turn our thrusters on so we can actually do that. When we come out of here, we should get past that sensor. And the door should start closing. There we go. Let's see that. And these things should have retracted. Yep, okay. So we're ready to build another tardigrade at some point. Let's go ahead and level off here so we can see where we're flying. We'll just go ahead and park this guy over here at another tardigrade bay, and I'll have to redo them at some point so they're unique and all that stuff. But, well, we made 2 tardigrades, almost. I probably should have turned the projector back on for this guy, but that's okay. We're a little tilted there. I'll probably grind them down at some point when I kind of perfect the... I'm terrible at parking today. There we go. I'll probably grind them down and redo them when I perfect the welding, but I'm spending way too much time in that room right now, so I don't want to. Alright, well, I was hoping to get a little bit more done in the episode with the rest of the base, but I think I'd rather go ahead and get this guy released early, and then we can all watch the SE2 news and get excited about that. So I'm going to call it an episode here, and I will see you guys later.